sell a thing which Marcus and Jesus Christ. People you help, sell it out for peas and rice. No every man a ball to the fire get up. Them not get no speedy response, thing got turn him back. But remember me tell you, say one and can't clap. Your plant violence, seed you are gonna reap bloody crop.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves Kevon and Amali, and with Azim on the ones and 96s. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali, featuring Azim on the numbers and Jade on the OBS and the mouse.
On the clicks.
Click. Oh boy. Well, it is Wednesday, hump day, also known as
Waffinger Wednesdays.
What you said?
I hope the Waffingers are proud of the
Yes, we thanks to our callers and listeners and viewers and everybody, we have deemed and dubbed Wednesday Waffinger Wednesday.
It's fitting.
If you have any issues, call according to Amali 869
Waff.
465 WAF. No H.
No H.
I don't know what that number gives you, so please don't call it. Yes. It is Wednesday.
9273.
That's 9273. Who's somebody's number, I'm sure. Don't call it, please. But yes, it is Wednesday, hump day. The week is halfway over. The week is halfway through. It is time to celebrate because the weekend is upon us, and that means that we have to do it all over again. I think the only enjoyable parts of the weekend is the Friday night and the Saturday.
No, not to me, because the Saturday doesn't make you feel closer to work.
No, the Friday night and the Saturday is fine, but then the first half of Saturday.
The next day is like Sunday, which
Yeah.
means you have to do house chores, get ready for the next day, which is work. So Sunday is technically work too? No? Y'all don't get ready? Okay, never mind.
Get ready for what?
I just realized.
Oh, okay.
Sunday sleep.
So,
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
but yeah, it's like halfway through the what's it called? Halfway through Saturday, like the first half of Saturday is enjoyable, and then coming to the end of the Saturday is just like, all right, the weekend kind
And then we're
of.
back.
Yeah.
So you get to the peak and then you start going down.
Yeah, it's like, you head to the water park and you enjoy yourself, and then it's like when you start to realize that the sun start going down, that's when you're no longer enjoying yourself, because it's coming to an end. Yes.
Water parks at night are amazing though.
They really are.
No, honestly.
Water parks at night, next level fun.
Nevis failed me, so,
You mean
Caribbean.
Caribbean
Cove?
Cove?
Yeah.
I found this again the other day, Let me not say I find
Every
it like it
time
was
I say
lost.
I'm so sad
That one, what?
that it's closed.
Let me not say lost. I found it like it was lost. I'm not Christopher Columbus,
I
but
mean, it looks lost.
like I forgot where it was. Like I couldn't.
Oh, for real?
When I was there as a child, you know, it was a
okay.
long time ago, and I really had no clue where it was physically located. So I was always trying to find it every time I go to Nevis. And then I passed it there. I passed it the last time I went to Nevis during the quarantine. Like not quarantine, like right after lockdown happened, and I went to Nevis. I think it was for my birthday, and I saw it, and I was just like,
Exactly.
"This sign is still there."
Yo, yeah, cracking me.
And I really wanted to go
That's
inside.
like one of the saddest things to ever happen in Kitishan Division history, the closing of Caribbean Cove. Because we had something that we could literally go on Saturdays and the kids could feel like that's a carnival.
And it was amazing.
Or at a real
Them
arcade.
bumper boats.
Arcades as well. No, and I don't mean like the new age arcade.
Like the real arcades. Because Caribbean Cove had arcade. Remember they had the Caribbean Cove coins,
Mm-hmm.
the gold coins that some people still have. Because y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know to not to take things.
Bumper boats.
The bumper boats. And then the bumper boats with the waterfall. There was a waterfall and the thing, and you would just willfully drive your passenger under it.
We need to talk to Big Grip about this.
I would really love if Caribbean Cove could be revamped, you know.
Me too.
Because honestly,
Not in
especially
COVID times.
well,
Well, not like literally right now, but you know, in the future.
but like
we could
especially
give that back.
taking into
Well,
taking into account the fact that this generation is so outside, I think it will do so well. Like honestly, I think it would do really well because you know everybody would be going, especially on a weekend. That would be
I
the
don't know,
spot.
man. Like, this is the issue with everything that happens in St. Kitts. Like this, all these entertainment spots, club, whatever. Like, it start up hot.
And then dies.
Because
Like-
everybody just want to say, like, they
Then
went.
they went, and then after everybody
And
went,
then,
nobody wants
yeah.
to go anymore.
And then
That's
it's,
true.
yeah. So, I mean, for instance, people talk about, like, bowling alleys and go-karts and all
It's
these
too small
things.
for
I'm
that.
like,
You don't know if you went last year because
yeah, but the population is small.
Population
people-
too
yeah,
small for that.
And everybody here walk off a hype.
Yeah,
So it's like, it only fun to go because it just comes.
it's a thing.
because we've had a lot of things. Like we've had, I think we had a bumper car place down Port Dante.
Yeah,
We did in one. Of the
yeah.
schools,
At one
well, in
point,
a school.
yeah, one
It
of
was
the
indoors?
one of the downstairs spaces was a bumper.
I think I vaguely remember something like that. I never went.
I think it was this side by the food court, where the food court is now. One of those.
No, it was on this side where you go walking through to go to Rum Barrel. Well, not Rum Barrel, but you know what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
But it was between. I remember it. It was a bumper cars thing between there, and it. Oh wait, wasn't that where Scoops was?
No, it was close to schools.
It was somewhere, but yeah, there was a bumper cars thing, and then we also had mini golf. Remember, we had mini golf once upon a time
Yeah, mini
Oh,
golf
yeah,
was
right
up
there, yeah.
by Value Mart,
Value Mart.
and mini golf closed down.
Yeah, people like because the hype does die off, and then people just decide.
Yeah, they ain't interested no
Dang,
more. Sad.
Yeah.
So things last. These entertainment worlds are very, in St. Kitts and Nevis, are very temporary. Like that's also why like Coney Island did so well because it wasn't permanent. You know, they'd come
Just for a moment.
A moment, you enjoy it because you know it's leaving, so you enjoyed it as much as possible. I remember you'd go like 7 times. But then you know after one point you stop going, and then they pack up and leave, and then you know you get the chance to build up the excitement again when they come in.
Y'all ever went to the circus when you was here?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It was built by Washi.
Yeah.
Washi Field.
Probably not. Maybe I don't remember.
That was actually really cool.
It was.
Yeah, it was actually really
We
cool.
don't get good stuff in.
Yeah.
Like,
Because the borders are closed.
I mean, okay, well, even before Corona, when it was the last time we had something like that.
Like traveling around. A lot of them things they kind of die down overall though.
Why?
They're not profitable.
Well,
Yeah, they're not profitable. So that's why things tend to close. I've been watching the state of affairs as it relates to like restaurants in the US. Like there's a real thing happening where like restaurants are closing down. and it's causing a spike in crime because like the streets are just dark now. all the commercial buildings are empty.
Right, so the streets,
the streets are dark. There's nobody on the street. There's nothing there. People going it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yo, again, we've said it here before, but check up on your entrepreneur friends, please. Like, it's rough out there.
Yeah, big time.
It's rough out there.
Everyone's suffering.
People out there struggling.
Hey, that's the way it goes. But maybe one day, even if Caribbean Cove could be temporary, Spirit of Halloween. It's that place that does just pop up every October, make copious amount of money and then vanish for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe Caribbean Cove could do that. It's a temporary or the season.
Do like a month in during. No, they just make it a summer thing.
Yeah, like
During
seasonal
summer vacation.
operation. Summertime they open up. We enjoy it for the summer and then they go. They close doors until next summer.
I feel something that would have to be heavily subsidized though.
Big time.
Because I was just about to say, even though that sounds like a good idea, machinery and all.
Right, and then the main
Machinery. The water bill at that place must be
crazy.
water bill and the pool maintenance.
The
expensive pool maintenance.
Especially pool maintenance is ridiculous.
I don't
Especially
because it's expensive.
That's why.
And then keep in mind, if that place goes inactive for however long, they would have to drain the pool because leaving it
They have to
stagnant. Yeah, leaving it
No,
stagnant.
the pool's
would
right
not-
now dry. There's nothing holding
Yeah.
water over there.
But they would have to drain it, and then draining it and then refilling it in itself is a massive expense.
Bro,
So
they have to resurface that. They have to go through all the drainage.
making sure everything good to go. What's it called? Sea blast. Sea blast is never friendly to anything that's mechanical.
Basically, they gotta build it over.
Yeah.
We need a total renovation.
Heavily subsidized for it to operate.
Yeah.
But
Drip, I know you're listening. Start
yes. Mr. Mark Drip Brantley, we know you're listening, and we would love if we can see Caribbean Cove return.
And it would be so fitting, seeing as your name is Big Drip.
Go to the ribbon cutting ceremony as a big water drop, like in a water drop costume.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Drip Brantley. But hey, let's jump into some tea time. Let's talk about St. Kitts and Nevis. As usual, we have to start there. So, let's talk about
Good news?
When do we ever talk about good news?
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm not that type of person.
Things like still doing good news in United.
Yeah.
So you still have news to speak about? Like things
He might be running out soon.
I think he just making up stories. Yeah.
Probably. Or he does just take the bad news stories and talk about the
Could
good
we
It's
stuff.
a good part of it.
Can we cycle them too? Guess what, guys? We woke up this morning.
Yeah. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Gas prices are at an all-time low for the day. Oh boy. But let's talk about St. Kitts and Nevis. So our federation is now at 22 COVID-19 cases. So, as stated yesterday in our emergency briefing, 2 imported cases, took the number up to 22. 2 additional imported cases took the number up to 22. The CMO, Dr. Hazel Laws, made the announcement yesterday at a special briefing organized by the NEOC. Yesterday afternoon, the Ministry of Health received 2 positive laboratory reports for 2 returning nationals who arrived in the Federation last Sunday, November 21st. This brings the total number of confirmed cases to 22, reported Dr. Laws. The individuals have been quarantined since arrival, and protocols established were adhered to from the arrival at the RLB International Airport to where they were staying. Their location was not disclosed. I know there's been a lot of messages going on our lovely news source WhatsApp, with 700 different locations. Nobody knows what the location is, or it has not been officially confirmed.
Because they don't tell you who it is either. So
Exactly, just stop it.
Yeah.
But y'all could imagine, right? All 4 of us come down on a plane together, right? And then we're going to quarantine, and on the 14th day, 3 of us come out, or 1 of us don't.
That one wasn't gonna be me.
Would you think it would be you?
Based on how my life does go. Yeah, I could always bet on the worst happen. Always.
Well, I mean,
But
better you than me.
so the fun part
That
is,
customs, I'll handle it well.
so the fun part is, when we spoke to Mara St. Kitts on their protocols, they shared with us how the quarantiners operate and the system works, them being allowed to use certain parts of the complex and all of these things. However, all passengers who arrived on the same flight as the confirmed cases are now confined to their rooms. So based on my understanding of that, they are not really granted free roam, not free roam, but controlled roam on the complex of their stay. At the moment, they are all confined to their rooms while tests are being done. That is to stop the spread. Because, if there's one other person who might have contracted it but is not showing symptoms as yet, chilling by the pool with another quarantiner, there's a high chance that they could pass that on to the quarantiner. So everyone is now confined to their rooms, and St. Kitts and Nevis again is now at number 22 total confirmed cases of COVID-19. But we do have...
that would mean, what, 3 active?
3 active because we have 19 recoveries. Let's see. So there are 4 people who are pre-approved to quarantine at home.
Mm-hmm.
There are 303 persons in a quarantine facility.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 persons in isolation. Those 3 persons that I just spoke about.
Mm-hmm. Where they isolate? At the quarantine facility?
Isolation just gives you...
That had a few places, even before OTA was designated.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's what I'm wondering if these people are in one of the government facilities.
I believe so. Like one of them houses that they had commandeered for that purpose.
Like isolation.
The house next to Jade?
Ooh, the isolation.
I strongly believe one of them like up by where I live. Strongly.
Mm-hmm.
Bigly.
I mean, if you see guys walking around in white hazmat suits, it's likely.
And if you see heavily tinted vehicles escorted by police,
They are
buses going into rural neighborhoods,
I can guarantee you they are not botanists. They're not.
And they are not Jehovah's Witnesses.
But I don't think they would do that because St. Kitts people is so newsy.
Yeah, but we're
right?
also not the smartest bunch.
No,
You see and
what
don't see.
What I mean is, if you see that happening, you're gonna pull out your phone and be like, "See, this is where they're going." Like, St. Kitts people just.
But that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened.
But do
That's what
you
you're talking about.
What you think they care?
I'm speaking from experience.
That's what you're talking about.
Me never come here and say, "Man, you see that deal?
See?
Let me go see where they're going now." I say, "Oh, why you crazy, boy?"
Then they pull
They
out
shut the curtain.
You can't be accused if you ain't see.
Oh, never mind.
But let me
Why,
see.
yeah, why?
So there's also the NEOC also presented a number of persons that have been released from quarantine since the beginning of this thing, and it is 2,239. Did not know that many people were in quarantine.
Oh.
But people been coming daily.
But that number is still quite high.
That's 2,000 possible cases that we could have.
Oops.
Could have had.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah. So
I know don't be dead.
Boy.
All of us. But actually heard through the grapevine. I don't know how say that.
So allegedly, so we lawyers.
They got still call.
No, break you, but allegedly.
It is alleged
Uh-huh.
that eventually the next phase as it relates to quarantining is allowing folks to quarantine at home without guard.
That would make sense.
What you say it wouldn't make sense?
Not that it would happen. It just wouldn't make sense.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way to spark people actually coming back home.
Yeah.
the at-home part.
There are too many people that just quarantine at
The
home.
same thing.
But
Antigua doing that. I was talking to a in Tartola, and she said that you can quarantine in Tartola come December 1st or 5th or something like that. But it needs to be in a pre-approved home. Like it can't be a home where like the person coming in sharing a bathroom people and so. They have to have their own facilities. Bedroom, bathroom together.
So I'm guessing they're gonna do an inspection to
They
see.
have to inspect your home, and if it's a case where it's 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, then they get nobody go on the.
So you think that would apply here as well? You think that that's something they would think about?
That's
Because-
what
that's
gonna have to
what I'm
happen.
thinking
Because if you come from New York and I live with a family of 6, I can't be mingling with them inside the
Well,
house.
how many houses in St. Kitts you think have bathrooms attached to their bedrooms?
And you
Very
know-
few.
And you know
So
what I
then
mean?
What is this for?
Not just attached there, but dedicated.
People who do it.
Ain't gotta be attached, but
So
it needs to be
6?
dedicated.
No, I ain't gonna mean a 6. But
A lot of homes in here have a room with, like, I guess, bathroom. But most don't.
That's my
Yeah.
thing.
Then they just can't come home, Jade. Stay with you.
that's all. And no, I still quarantine at a pre-approved facility.
Facility. But if you want to be home, it has to be a place where facilities can be isolated.
This is what's
And
happening.
you trust people enough to not.
No.
No,
But I know people here, before our borders closed, I know people here who did it when they came in and quarantine and they had to come and stay in a bedroom and they have like a table outside the door to put the food on the table, and they come up the door and take up the food. When they finish, they put it back down, and then they got to spread on the plates with alcohol and so before they wash them out and things and so.
yeah.
So people have been doing it.
Especially when we first went on lockdown. So the
Yes.
first set of people who came back
Yes.
home
Yeah.
after the lockdown,
They were
they
able
were
to quarantine.
quarantining at home.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them were up and down playing basketball and so.
And all kind of things.
But
But
Killing
yeah,
people
but what's happening now is that there's people who are stuck out there and saying, "Look, I can't afford.
to stay in
The
the
process.
I can't come home and I can't afford the stay. So
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do? I'm out here not
It's
working.
a tough
Like,
one.
the government is not going to pay for people to
What-
quarantine.
on
maybe
the corner.
what they could do is clear out their house and just leave that person there
Yeah, but then that now boils down to where these clear out houses people gonna go.
by their family, hopefully.
No,
It
it's
could
more
all
like it's
be
more
so
likely that people are
simple.
going to the people coming back are going to quarantine by somebody who has the facility
Yeah.
to do that, as opposed to where they usually live,
Yeah.
clearing out the house.
Yeah, they're not
That's
going to
usually
go up
what's
there,
gonna happen.
a aunt or something,
Yeah, that's most likely what's gonna happen.
and that is providing the aunt would allow it.
Right.
Because
Not
then
only-
everybody, not because his family dying,
Oh.
I'm trying to put my health at risk.
Okay.
Oh.
Right.
Right,
Let
but
me
some people
see.
can do it.
Yeah,
So-
but I think most family would do it though.
Yeah, families will do that,
Someone's asking.
especially if you come with a negative test done 3 days ago and all of that and blah 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 blah.
Someone's asking if
Very many got people who don't believe in corona still.
that's still.
I'm just going to say the
um,
country don't even bleak on real.
Someone's asking if you get confirmed, will they move you to a more secure location? I actually don't know the answer to that.
That's what we was asking. I think that there's isolation facilities,
Yeah,
as
there's-
opposed to quarantine facilities.
And I'm not
So I
sure
think
if
you can
those
move.
isolation facilities exist on the hotel properties or if they are different locations.
They're up in a hill somewhere.
So
Ever see the jail in Nevis?
Nevis Carnival.
Exactly.
it's so well hidden, you don't know it.
But
But I think they have a few of them now. They have a few facilities where people are going to
Yeah.
isolation.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
so,
of course, there's the wards up by Janet that have been designated for that. But for only people with severe symptoms, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep Janet clear, please, because Lord knows.
My one went up there, tell me, yeah, up there, I must take in.
See there?
Yeah.
And that was just one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, but just people hysteria. Just people
Yeah,
hysteria.
nobody wants to have to, no matter even if you're a frontline worker, nobody wants to have to deal with this.
Yeah, but I guess that's kind of like the job.
Why?
That's
Sort
ki-
of.
Yeah, that's kind of like.
More and more, I'm happy I didn't pay attention in school. Why?
Jade, don't say that out loud again.
Wow.
Well, it's true.
Wow.
Because if I did, I might have done one of them jobs where I had to be a frontline worker, and then my anxiety would have killed me.
Or perhaps you could have paid attention in school and then have options where you could
No.
choose not to.
No. I said what I said because I'm living my truth.
Let's jump to another topic, right?
Kids, pay attention in school.
I did say they shouldn't. I said I.
Make sure you get maths when you leave high school. Just to have it. One day a hypotenuse will approach you and you will know exactly what to do with it.
Okay.
Yet to
Just
ever
pull out
see.
your Pythagorean.
Oh my God.
I've yet to ever use that again,
A lot of things we've yet to use again.
We're not witty by
Witty, I forwarded your message to the group.
Hold on,
So-
I haven't seen it.
They will see your message.
Damn.
I know.
Right? Goal. I don't even
I
have
want
to
somebody,
say.
I want somebody to let me let down.
So boy, one of these days, Amali, we're gonna get lucky.
So, Witty, let me ask
Come
a
on,
question.
You don't get looking at me though.
Huh?
My life don't operate, so you don't get looking at me.
Yeah. You have no faith in you?
I just have no faith in the universe as it relates to me.
Good morning, Witty. Next time, say hi.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you, Witty. How come you're not
So, but
saying?
Witty ain't look good by
Amali, what? Everybody looks nice. This is why you're single, you know? On nobody want you.
How everybody look nice?
Me, Jay.
Yes, everybody look nice.
I'm not
Yeah.
doing
Jade
this
said
with
nobody
you.
want you. That's what Jade said.
That is why, because he's too.
Hello, we're not doing this with you. So,
No, they want me, yeah, but it's just that I'm difficult to deal with. Somebody just told me so literally 8 seconds ago.
Welp, we will take a short break because it is now break time, and we will come back with more Island Tea on Win Media SKN.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
When it's Friday, time to party. So if you're ready, let me hear you say, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah.
Wait, Buka, hold on there, Buka. Hold on there, man. Let's do this Friday night different. Let's take the people back. Way back. Yeah, man. Tune in every Friday night from 7 to 9 with my boy DJ Rabuka as he jam you the hits of yesterday. Right here on Win FM 98.9. Yeah, man.
Getting sure to be sure of your benefits. Sickness and maternity, I'll tell you about the rest of it. Survivors grant your spouse and kids get the best of it. Let me mention pension when you're 62. When you're done work hard and retire, this is what to do. Listen, this social security is working for all your benefits. Funeral grant to help every one of your relatives. Come register for this social security. Social security. So every time you get your pay, social security.
96 degrees in the shade. Real hot in the shade. 96 degrees in the shade. Real hot, oh yes, in the shade. Said it was 96 degrees in the shade. 10,000 soldiers on parade, taking I and I to meet a big bad boy.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali, and we are joined by our friends from Social Security. Welcome.
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 Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Whose show this is? Mine or yours?
Sorry, I forget. Good morning, everybody.
This ain't soccer size, him.
I don't deal with soccer size.
I mean, what name?
Soccer fitness.
Soccer fitness. You should see come on the stage, see?
I saw videos.
Little pum pum shots.
You're dying.
Hot girl.
Oh, that. Yeah. Guys, welcome to Because You Deserve a Future with Social Security.
That's what it should name?
Yes, it does have a name. And so we are already at the time. This is our last show for the year. We usually go from January to November because December is Christmas and so on. So we want people to be focused on
the Lord?
Focused on the Lord and focused on the activities that usually happen, carnival and so on. So we don't want to bombard your mind with Social Security information at December like that unless it's a emergency or some urgent information.
AKA can just one party.
Maybe. So we usually talk from January to November. From March up until now, every month we focused on COVID-19, COVID payments. COVID is still very present amongst us. Yesterday there were 2 additional cases, but it's fair to say that the NEOC and the government's initiatives are working well enough for us to contain them, but still let us not be, careless and carefree to the extent that we don't think it's real. Persons have died, persons close to us who are overseas have been sick. So it's real and we don't want to feel that loss. Many persons have returned to work. Some are still without work. And so this morning we're just going to give a synopsis of what has happened over the last, how much months? 9 almost?
8, 9.
8, 9 months. And so hopefully this is the end of our conversation as it relates to the COVID payments. So far, already we have paid out almost the 25 million that was allocated, and there are still a number of persons who have not shown up to the office for one reason or the other. So Sandra De Silva, the customer service supervisor, she's here to give a little update as to how persons can come to get their business sorted out. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you. Okay, so good morning, everyone outside there. Now, I have a number of checks at customer service. One of the issues we have been having is that we are trying to reach persons, we cannot reach persons. Persons change their phone number ever so often, and it is a problem. So we try to reach persons, number does not exist. We try to reach them through contact person. That number also has changed. Even through employers can't help us. So we're asking persons to come down and just inquire and see if one of those checks that we have belong to you.
May I have one, please?
You can call.
Obviously, they want it.
No, I want it.
I'm not going to say that. I think
they mean you.
a few persons have gone overseas. Maybe they've gone back to their home or for various reasons they're overseas. We are aware of 1 or 2. But the bulk of the checks are there.
What?
And I am wondering where these persons.
On the other side of the screen.
So we are hopeful that through this medium, you're shocked to hear that the checks them there, no? Yeah. And this,
one.
This usually happens also when
So what happens to the checks if no one
And
collects them?
I am not just talking about St. Kitts because Nevis is suffering the same fate. So we would like persons to call the office
You want them?
and just find out if we have a check. Have your social security number ready when you call, because that's we find it quickly by your social security number.
So you're shocked. Guys, you're not talking to us. Like, you're perplexed.
I'm actually more upset than shocked because they got people that really need the money and they got people that got money in there and ain't want to go for it. It's heartbreaking.
It is.
I mean,
Is it though?
People like Azim Bailey.
For one reason or the other, we don't know all the reasons, as Sandra may have highlighted. Some people gone overseas, some people really not paying attention. some people don't know that there is a check there for them. So we are appealing. If you feel like maybe one is there for me, just call. The numbers to call 465-2535, 469-5245 and inquire as to your status. Then on the flip side, we also have some persons who are still without payments. Those two are being organized as well. We had some challenges very, very early in the start of it. In the first week when we launched the program, some of the data that came in were absolutely blank. So we couldn't ascertain who it's from or whatever. So we rectified that very early. And so we don't know if there are some persons who
may have fell through the cracks.
Yes.
Right.
Because this is something new that we had to deal with. So you could expect some, not all things to flow smoothly.
And it was instituted very quickly.
Thank you. Because we didn't get any time at home. When persons were on lockdown, we still had to be there.
So I received some checks yesterday, and that's supposed to be the tail end of all of it, those persons who fell through the cracks. So I have those calling persons and so forth.
So some of these checks are like new. Now they're new. So it's not to say, well, the people had the checks there for months and then come. Some of them.
Yes.
Right.
Some of them are like that.
Yes.
Okay.
So those would be persons who didn't get the April to June.
Yes. So I have a few checks who probably didn't get April to June or within that 3 months.
Oh, okay.
And of course I have September checks because September checks were allocated to persons directly involved with tourism and expected to go to work. So the employer informed us of those persons who expected to go to work any day now, but not for the month of September. So we have some of those checks too.
So when can I come for mine?
Check with Sandra.
I think we have taken care of.
Of who?
Lord, don't say nothing to this one here right now because we're gonna. Sandra took care of him earlier.
Yes,
earlier.
I did.
But we're gonna talk.
So nobody want to talk to me?
We're gonna talk to you.
Yeah, from here.
Well,
Sandra need to talk to me then.
January.
It's not a lie.
I
come October.
No, let me tell y'all. Interestingly, those persons, and especially as it relates to self-employed, those persons who are not from here, they make sure that the employer is paying their Social Security. They also make sure that if they are self-employed, that they pay their Social Security.
They don't play that by.
In St. Kitts and Nevis, we are too laid back.
Yes, we are.
Comfortable.
Too comfortable, too privileged as it relates to our thinking about the future. Because we're rich, we're spoiled, and things are made entitled. See there, and we don't pay attention to tomorrow.
And when we do pay attention when we become 62. We receive our age pension, and it's like, I've worked all my life. I can't believe that is what I'm getting.
Wow.
And then sometimes, based on what they tell us, we might find additional contribution, and sometimes that's it. And you can't go back to the employer. The employer no longer exists and so forth. And you may have worked, but it's not. Those contributions did not reach Social Security.
And I could tell you.
And happens often, isn't it?
It happens. We don't want
often.
We see cases where, imagine you need 500 contributions and the staff down there hunting for one because the person stop on $4.99.
Oh,
so they're all in the vault looking for paper to see if somebody would have missed one.
Oh my gosh.
People don't pay attention.
And hold the employers accountable as well.
We exactly. We cannot address it 30 years down the road, even though we have the mechanisms too, by law and so on. Person done pack up gone. I mean, the person no longer has the means to do it, so we just have these things on our files saying to be collected in arrears or something like that, and it's sad. So people need to pay attention. Just like how you just check, hopefully you check your, what do you call that, sexual status. Check your Social Security status.
So tell
And persons suffer during the COVID from receiving payments just because There's no employer.
Employer.
You know, you say you're working with that person. There's no data.
There's
to-
no record.
There's nothing to prove you're
No
working with
contributions.
anyone. And so
So how can some
They-
tell us what does someone do to check on their social
they come
security
to
status?
Social Security.
You come in, and what do they need to bring with you?
You bring us, well, you must know your social security. Now, if not, we can look it up. But just come in, I'm checking on my status to see if my employer is paying. And if very much during this year especially, check. Because employers still have to pay. Persons are out, they're still working, and employers still have to pay.
So do employers suffer any consequences for not contributing to?
Of course,
Yes.
they do suffer the consequence. We have lots of judgments.
The man go
We-
jail and so.
Yeah. We have not sent anybody to jail in a little while. I don't think they allow it anymore. But there is a
But
consequence.
people have been arrested and
People have-
had to come and pay the.
Good, and
Yeah.
we also have the right to seize property and that,
Ooh, seizing property.
and so on. So we have lots of land. But
Really?
yeah, people's equipment, all those sorts of things to make sure
All the
that
print and so.
it doesn't help though. These
And mechanic shops, they can't do nothing with.
Why? But
That's
on a
hilarious.
serious matter, it really doesn't help. And we understand, especially now, it's difficult for employers because your income streams have really been affected.
Yeah.
But it's still important to report and to say Social Security are going to a hard spot, but this is the information, and we work with you into, making smaller payments or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
We also note a lot of on-the-reporting, whereas you have 15 people and you only report 6.
Oh wow.
We have, so there are things that affects person, but we want people to be responsible. Check your information. Check it. We used to do by mail contribution statements, but just like how we having problems with people, current information, the mail returned to us because they would have moved or something. So it's important that you update your social security information as you move and so on, so it's easy for us to contact you when we have to.
And persons can come in and get a contribution statement free, 1 per year free. So right there, you know exactly.
We
You have more than
understand.
one employer, you know if they're reporting for you, and you know if they're reporting your current wages. And not that
Oh.
you're working for $500 a week and they're paying $300.
I didn't
So
even
you
know this.
find out
Look at
things
that
like that.
Oh, so
So-
it's beyond just the not paying. It's reporting a false
Yes.
amount.
Yes,
Or on the
yes,
paying or on the
yes.
reporting and wow.
Because, we know that employers out there pay persons cash.
Scamming big.
So there is no...
I never hear that one. What you say?
They're scamming big.
There's
Oh,
no
thought you said it's a
official
scamming
pay
period.
slip to prove what you're working for. And come in. You can come as often as you want.
Right.
So we're talking November. Okay, so we're supposed to have up to September already in our office. Okay? So come in and find out what happened to you during this year. It's a very unusual year. And I think people are supposed to find out just what the status is for 2020 from the employers.
I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons why things like that might happen. Like, for instance, a person might receive a raise, but the raise isn't reflected in the reporting and stuff like that. So I think it's on employees to really just do a check.
Stay on top of it, yeah.
I didn't even know you could go in and get a statement.
Yes,
like,
you can.
So that's
Yes.
that's amazing. Like, you could just go in and see what your status is.
Yes.
Yeah, take advantage of that.
Yeah, we don't pay enough attention. We don't. And I'm not saying we know that Social Security, we're not perfect. No one is. There are challenges. And as times change, our mechanisms of collecting information, of investigating, all those things do have to change as well. But we can't do it on our own. That department is about 13 persons, and we have over 6,000 people employed. So it needs a collective effort from everybody to say, hey, I don't think this is going well in my favor. My employer is doing ABC and so on. Sometimes we hear things like, oh, when I come to you guys, maybe I'm going to lose my job and so on. There is recourse for that. That's where the Labor Department comes in, right? So it's important that you check.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
This might be outside of what we're talking about now, but it's something that I've experienced in terms of self-employed persons being able to change their like the designation. What's the official term for
The
that?
category.
The category, right? I know that you're only allowed to change it. I think like once a year or something.
Twice.
You
but
can change it twice, January, first week January, first week July,
Mm-hmm.
and you can change it until you're 52 years.
okay,
At that point, you change it once per year, which is January. And when you reach 57, there's no more change.
all right. So the suggestion is, I understand why you would only be able to change it twice a year, but the suggestion is, what if we allow persons to change it like when it actually affects them, but not allow them to then change it for an additional 6 months? So for instance, if I have a change of status in March, right, then I wouldn't be able to change again until 6 months from then. So it's not limit persons to when they could actually change their category.
So you
that's
mean
something I might
remove our dates? per
yeah,
se?
the dates. Because to me, it's kind of funny to say, well, you have to change it in these 2 weeks, in the whole year, when who knows when my status is changing, right? So, like for instance, especially for self-employed people. So if you want to stay up to date with your contributions, it would make sense to, like you said, stay up on your status and everything. So if in March there's a change in whatever, so for instance, like the pandemic. So I'm saying like my thing went down, my income went down and all of that. I should be able to, in March, contact Social Security and be like, hey, based on this situation, I want to go down a category. And then it's not to say, well, if things change back in June, I'll just come back in June. But, at least 6 months before I could make a change again.
I understand your suggestion, and I think it's a very fair one, because especially during this time, self-employed persons have come to us and say, I can't pay what I was accustomed to paying. So it's either I'm going to short myself of the weeks, or I really can't pay at all. So it's something fair that we can consider, being that the benchmark is still 6 months and only twice, whether you come in January, February, whatever it is. So
I think
it is
it's fair.
something that we can really consider.
Well, that will be a special concession, because remember, we don't want self-employed manipulating how they are going to pay. They may know of an illness coming up, and so they manipulate their figures to suit what they want during the sickness period. So we don't want that. But this year is quite unusual, and so everything can be looked at differently.
Most definitely.
This year was unusual. It's normal now.
Yeah. I think,
Boy,
yeah, that's why I think the stipulation of like not having it change like for every 6 months. So like you like to say you could just come in and change it as you please and manipulate.
It will still be 6 months.
It will still be 6 months.
Yeah.
But not this 1 week and that other week. To me that's
I
a
think
little difficult.
administratively, we thought it would be easier for us to manage the changes in the IT system.
Right.
So
Easier for you.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
But ain't about you
So
also.
exactly. Thank you for reminding me.
So you're most welcome.
All things usually are, but I understand.
I know that.
So that's definitely something that we can consider. I want to take the time also to commend those employers who, through it all, still made the effort. Those who came to us and said, I am struggling, but I want to do right by the people who work for me. So it's good to big up people when they do good. We've already highlighted those who are not so honest. Stop it, because you're not just affecting someone's present livelihood, you're talking about somebody's future benefit when they no longer work for you, and you rob them of some dignity at 62 or whenever they're not able to work any further. It's a big responsibility as an employer, and we need to do right.
Yes, because contribution weeks equal percentage, a higher percentage of when you become 62. And it's not just 62, because you could become ill, unable to work, and you get invalidity pension.
Right.
It affects that also. Because we all go to work with a mind view, by the time I reach a particular age, this is what my pension will be. And then you reach, and it's not so at all. Your percentage, 60%.
Yeah.
60% get you what, 35 years of work? 36, 35, 36. And when you come 62, you're down at 52, 54, and you're working more years than that. And that's
And some
where you're
people
at.
work, like you said, some people work beyond the time they say they
Yes.
was going to stop and
Yes.
still ain't at the goal yet.
Because most people work like 42 years, 43. By the time I finish, I'm 42 plus. So I don't reach the 60% long time. We work with a goal in mind, a goal in terms of percentage and a goal in terms of money. And it's unfortunate when you reach 62, nothing can be done.
Wow.
But when you come to these telephone numbers, boy, these numbers change ever so fast. I don't know why. But please just drop in and say, I'm just here to give you my new
Contact
telephone number.
information, yeah.
That's one. And of course, you have a contact. So you had me as your contact. For whatever reason, no longer I'm your contact person. Change it. Give us your new person who you want us to be your contact and their telephone number. Telephone numbers, they're so critical. Because we need to reach you for anything. You may make a claim, something is wrong, we want to reach you to fix it. And then something like this happened, COVID, and reaching persons is impossible. And they're right here.
Yeah, and they're our own. So again, we want to thank you for tuning in. Employers, we are encouraging you to continue the conversation with us. We know it's difficult. Persons, self-employed persons, we saw an increase of registration during the period that we were COVID. So we want you to continue. Don't just register because you think you're going to get $1,000 or whatever, but we hope you registered for the fact that you realize it's important for you to be covered. We don't know what will happen to us. We don't know when we're going to fall sick. We don't know when we're going to leave our home good and healthy and meet an accident that changes the rest of our life. So you want to be covered. Until next year, because this is our last program for the year, we're encouraging you to stay safe, wash your hands, avoid the lots of groups and so on, and take care of each other. So have a good 2021. Let's hope that it's better, much
But
better.
you're saying it like you ain't coming back.
Me coming back.
This is last.
No, you're coming back.
Okay.
I don't care.
I'm coming back, y'all.
Okay, good.
Have a good day.
We will be back.
Okay.
Survivors, grand your spouse and kids get the best of it. Let me mention pension when you're 62. When you're done work hard and retire, this is what to do. Listen, this social security is working for all your benefits. Funeral want to help every one of your relatives. Come register for this. Social security. Social security. So every time you get your pay, Social security.
Use your National Bank Visa debit card 5 times or more weekly for a chance to win a $500 shopping spree. Compliments of National Bank. So think twice the next time you want to use cash. Choose your National Bank Visa debit card instead, because you might be the next lucky winner. Use your National Bank Visa debit card every transaction for a chance to be the next lucky winner. Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Paint it, tile it, improve it. Your walls, paint it. Your floors, tile it. Your home, improve it. Huge savings at the Hosford's Building Center. Paint it, tile it, improve it. Sales event happening now. Yes. Come to Hosford's Building Center now and get savings of 25% off all paint and up to 75% off all tiles. Yes. Love things are gonna keep at Hosford's with up to 75% off piles of tiles in all styles and 25% off all paint. Come now and get a chance to win $500 shopping spree at Value Mart with the purchase of 5 gallons of paint or more. That's right. Buy 5 gallons or more of paint and you get a chance to win $500 in free groceries. Starting now until December 31st, 2020. It's your home. So paint it, tile it, improve it. At Hawkswood Building and Nevis Center's year-end Paint It, Tile It, Improve It sale. Come now. Save big and simply paint it, tile it, and improve it. The event starts now and ends December 31st, 2020. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details. It's official! Friday, December 18th and Saturday, December 19th are VAT days. But you can come today and get pre-approved credit for VAT Day. Save some of the hassle of this VAT Day and drop by some of your local Hosford department stores today. Yes! Come to any Hosford department today and get pre-approved credit for December 18th and December 19th. No down payment necessary. That's right, zero money down. And no payment until February 2021. That's right, no payment until February 2021. Come to Hosford's today, where we will be dropping major discount plus pre-approved credit when you shop now. How, you ask? Well, it's simple. All you have to do is visit any of the Hosford's departments, including furniture and appliances, Ashley Furniture Home Store, Building and Nevis Centers, and the Automotive Division. Make your VAT Day wish list, and we'll do the credit check. Come back on VAT Day and get all that you picked with your pre-approved credit and be on your way to a merrier Christmas. Whether it's new furniture, a new stove, or a brand new car, Hosford's is giving you pre-approved credit today. Be on your way to a merrier Christmas. Pre-approved credit today for VAT Days December 18th and December 19th at Hosford's. Visit stores for all details.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali, and it is time for more tea time. Hee hee.
Radio thing coming today?
Yeah. Surprise.
There's somebody. We don't know if it's somebody.
Yeah, we don't know who.
Because
But
anyway.
we will be joined by the Carnival Committee in the last half hour of the show. So, until then, we'll do some more tea time. Hee hee. So let's talk about more St. Kitts, of course. We have to start St. Kitts. So, let's talk about how prepared St. Kitts is for a possible spike in COVID-19 cases. So we've boasted about 19 confirmed cases and 19 recoveries for the past 5 weeks that it lasted. You know, this past weekend, the Federation's 20th confirmed case was announced. And then additionally yesterday, 2 more cases were announced, bringing the total to 22 in less than 72 hours. Thankfully, though, we have 19 recoveries and 3 active cases. And from those 22 confirmed cases, we still have no deaths, which I hope it stays that way. We also have no serious hospitalizations recorded so far, according to health officials. And for the past 8-9 months, for the most part, apart from the economic strain, St. Kitts and Nevis has not been the victim of the true onslaught of COVID-19 pandemic with its closed borders. The rest of CARICOM and all other countries all over the world are seeing spikes in coronavirus cases, which suggests that the same could happen here. And, you know, especially since international travel has resumed, numbers could rise before the anticipated access to the vaccine, which is slated for mid-December. They're saying that this could possibly be given, the vaccine could be available and distributed mid-December.
We'll talk about that after we finish the article.
But are we ready for more cases of COVID-19 in the Federation?
Right.
So before we even get there, one airline carrier, I think is Qantas.
I don't know where you're going.
Qantas said that they will be implementing mandatory vaccine to use their carrier.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes it interesting.
Do we see if they will be? They did say the Qantas, I think your CEO, well, one of the big directors or whatever, they said that it will be mandatory when the vaccine is available to use their carrier. They
won't be able to institute that off the bat.
Right, it'll take some time.
No, I think what people need to recognize with the vaccine is that worldwide, the vaccine is the priority is the frontline and essential workers. So by the time it trickles down to, like the general population, it's gonna be some time. So, before they could institute a lot of this stuff and make it mandatory, like we're still looking at a couple months. I would suspect, because even the vaccines that the government here have paid for up front, those are specifically for frontline workers, which makes sense. They're the ones most at risk, right? So,
hey. Listen, this whole thing is just stressful, to be honest. But let's see. So, the CMO, Dr. Hazel Laws, and the medical chief of staff, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, they answered questions about the country's preparedness at the Tuesday briefing of the NEOC. How many beds do we have? Dr. Wilkinson said, so right now we have the private ward that is identified with about 15 beds, each having a ventilator associated with the bed. And so the capacity on the private ward is 15 beds. So, to reiterate, the private ward is being used as the primary first spot with 15 beds, and he said that each bed has a ventilator associated with the beds. So we have 15 ventilators for the 15 beds. Next question was, how many hazmat suits are available? Dr. Laws answered and said, I just want to ensure to the general public that we have an inventory, a team monitoring our inventory and at our central medical stores in terms of ensuring that we have adequate supplies of everything that we need in terms of all of the pieces of the PPE, which is the personal protective equipment, and adequate medication. I think we have a call, so I'll pause there while we take the call. Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Yeah, blessed Wednesday, joyful Wednesday this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Between the COVID, you're going to have loopholes because everybody ain't honest enough to do what they're supposed to do. Why I say this, you will say you take a test, get some papers, even pay a doctor to get a little one to paper. And he will say, yeah, you pay your money and then you come through, you board the flight, which you know you're positive. When you board the flight now, you know how much people you're giving that? Just because you want to come home or just because you want to get out. So we don't have them things. And again, the border. The border is the main attraction we got to protect. The border. If you ain't protect the border well, people could come in, do this thing, and then we have community spread, and bam. Then 15 beds. You know most people in St. Kitts. So then 15 beds, so protect the border. People just got to be honest when they come in and take an honest test. And then we could control it from there. But just reward to the people ain't honest, everybody ain't honest enough. Because people just want to get out of the fair. And the border. Protect the border. And everything gonna be good. Otherwise than that, we got 23 cases. We had 23 cases, we got 3 right now.
22.
We
are 22.
Huh?
We are 22 right
22?
now. 22 cases, but only 3 are active. The 19 have already recovered and good to go.
Okay, so we got the 3 active. Let us keep it so for the rest of the year. Please, people, are hearing my voice. Yeah. Blessed love.
All right, Simon.
All right.
But what he's saying is something real, eh? I mean, we've spoke about it here. People buying negative tests. Like we've had people who in some of the islands, people buying negative tests, go home and deciding that they're not gonna quarantine. They're gonna put the app on another phone and leave it home.
Leave the app home.
Yeah, it's like you don't understand that these decisions that you're making, what the consequences could possibly be. Like,
but I don't think people are understanding that the decisions that they're making are the reason why we can't operate as we'd like to.
Right.
Had everybody done what we needed to do within the first few months of this, we probably would have already been in the clear at the end of this thing.
At least way more managed.
But the fact that everybody wants to be deceptive just to be able to do what they do is the exact same reason why we can't do what we need to do still.
Or the fact that people, especially in places like the US, people valued their
personal rights.
No,
their perceived rights, actually.
Yeah, more than what was best for the whole.
Yeah.
And this is what.
And seeing wearing a mask as a violation. I've seen videos of people like trying to end the Walmart and so, and arguing with the staff. You can't tell me to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And then the whole situation.
And sue the company and so because they refuse them entry because they ain't on a mask and them.
Dude, I saw a video recently where this guy he was in Walmart, yeah. And he just in there without his mask and standing up in the line, and people just kept telling him, "Yo, put your mask." Like, this is not even Walmart staff, eh?
Yeah,
this is just like regular people. And this one dude, he just like come with like a cooler of water and just like downs him.
Yeah, I see that.
Just downs him like, "Yo, let's get out, man."
It's crazy. Everybody wants to live normally, but don't want to do anything to get us back to the normal. But let me continue with the article about the preparedness of St. Kitts and Nevis. So a follow-up question was, after improving the image of quarantine facilities by turning them into a vacation in place at our hotel's concept at the consumer's of expense, of course, what is the status of the isolation facility at the hospitals in cases of patients with complications as it relates to COVID-19? Dr. Wilkinson answered and said, one of the things we said early as we prepared for this pandemic was that we identified a site at the JNF hospital where we would house persons initially with COVID-19 virus. If the case becomes overwhelming, we would command more and more of the institution. So the capacity on the private ward is 15 beds, but there is a plan in place to gradually command more and more of the institution. We have 3 health institutions, and so our capacity can expand if we have an increase in the number of cases. Good information. I really like this Q&A that they do. It's very informative.
Yeah.
And nobody watch it. So they got like a heap of misinformation spreading across.
Nobody does watch it, and then there's also
what
they're doing.
No, the problem. Okay, let's talk about the good things first. So this has been our discussion here for months on end. Even when speaking to people about why the borders needed to remain closed, to give us time to
prepare the infrastructure
and the resources that we need to deal with eventual like rising cases and stuff like that, right? So to see that is something that's been ongoing and thing, that's a good thing. And I'm not an expert, but I would have wanted to believe that even though we've seen this increase in capacity, I still think it's like way under where we need to be.
Oh, significantly.
Way under where we need to be. And so it's kind of like, and not only that, a lot of this has been facilitated by the corporate community. The corporate community has been donating, has been giving charitable donations to help boost the infrastructure. And it's kind of like, this is where we're at, like 15 beds.
Yeah.
Like, if something were to happen at like just at one church, for instance,
all the beds are gone.
There is a spillover in place. You know, Dr. Wilkinson said that there is
but
a
the spillover gonna be less than
but
than the original.
That's the thing, as too.
Yeah,
You know, we
so
don't. It's still, we still as a small nation, we can't handle a massive outbreak.
Yeah, like, and I think that is why they're putting so much emphasis on the strict protocols.
Guidelines, for coming into the country.
Yeah, for coming into the country, which I think is wise.
I think so too, because it's
but
better to do it that way than for us to be scrabbling.
It feels a bit like a gamble. It feels a bit like a gamble, to be honest.
It's a trade-off.
Yeah, because as the caller said just now, rightly, like, can't just people. What's when we start to do the quarantine at home thing?
Oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
Bro, we've seen it in other islands where people know they're positive. Like, no, they ain't just quarantining here. They know they're positive and gonna work. Like, they know they're positive here. It's one thing to quarantine because it's stipulated, and the hope is that this will mitigate the risk and all of that or whatever, in the case you are. But you have a positive
And the
result.
thing is, right, as him, nobody more own when I saying these people, you know? So, if they're doing that in other territories, right?
Why?
They're going to be cast down here.
But,
and they're going to argue with you too.
Yeah.
You're positive already out here. I want to take a shop.
So what's supposed to do?
What's supposed to do?
What's supposed to do? Just stay home? I got cable in our house, you know, I ain't got a cable in now. Like, yeah, like, you could hear the arguments.
Oh my
but
word.
to something that you mentioned here, which is nobody don't watch the briefings. People don't watch the briefings because they're not brief.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I don't call the briefings longings.
Yeah.
And it gets to a point where
They really like over hours. You gotta sit down there.
dude, and okay, if that is what they want to do, we have okay. This really should come tomorrow because it really grinds my gears. We have a problem with press conferences in St. Kitts. We love a press conference. I don't understand what the deal is. It feels almost like posturing half the time. I remember when the briefing started to happen when we was in lockdown, and it's like everybody want to go and say they give 2 pairs of socks to the defense force. It's like, that ain't why you're watching this for. I want to know what is the status or the situation. I want to know what we're doing, and that's it. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I look at what some of the other countries are doing, right? The briefings are like literally 5 minutes with all the information that you need. You send it, and it's so short, you could send it out in a WhatsApp thing, so everybody has an official account of what the situation is. Not people going, and don't give me the key points after it. Don't. The CMO go up and tell us what the situation is.
Exactly what it is.
And we move forward. We need to address it. Like, and I know for a fact that the task force, the police, have seen what is being done. You know why? Because I've forwarded it to some of them.
Also, you know.
So they know. I know other people who have been forwarded it to them to be like, hey, can we do something like this? Can we have a format like this? Because what happens is that people aren't watching the briefings and they're taking pieces here and there and spreading misinformation.
because they can clip certain parts right before the next sentence, and then
But not only that, it's so sometimes it's so hard to piece together everything.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, when you watch the briefings, it is so confusing because people who would have been watching the briefings would then either call in or send messages asking things that were covered in the briefing. But sometimes you could understand why they're asking again because it wasn't even clear to begin with when you said it first. Like, so it's like, okay, clarify this for me because, yeah. And to the credit of the people on the task force generally, I don't understand how they remain so calm sometimes to the questions. But
honestly,
I mean,
kudos to y'all.
Yeah, but I tell you, sometimes you don't really feel like it's like ego masturbation or something. Like just up there stroking. I don't understand what's going on. Like, just give us the information, please. These hour and a half long press conferences, like, people ain't watching it.
And the thing is as well, well, granted, it, based on the time that the conference happens as well, some people can't watch it or they don't even have the time to watch all of it.
Bro, people be listening to Island T and other like programs similar to Island T Voice or whatever and get more information in 5 minutes than they get from the whole briefing. People's attention span doesn't allow them to operate like that. Like, it's strange. Like, I am right now watching the newest episode of The Bachelor. Like, I can't be stuck here watching this for an hour and a half.
I'm more
like, that's just the reality.
The fact that you're watching The Bachelor.
I'm talking about me. But yeah, you get it.
Yeah. There was one more.
That's one of the worst shows ever, by the way.
Point agreed. There was one more point that they made. That was asked. One more question that was asked that was answered. Based on the list that we have. So the question was: have the emergency response teams conducted drills to test the efficiency of protocols in place? And Dr. Laws answered the question and said, between January to present, the medical team has been exposed to continuous training and capacity building, facilitated by consultants and focal points in the country, and we are ably assisted by the Pan American Health Organization. I want to assure the public that even before we open our borders, our internal medicine specialist team developed the clinical management of moderate to severe COVID-19 so that our national protocols for the management of persons who would become moderate to severely ill when impacted with the virus. And this document was made available to all health professionals in the Federation, and all health professionals were sensitized to the latest information regarding the clinical management of COVID-19. And so this took place even before we opened our borders, and continuous training in terms of infection prevention control and the donning of PPE, etc. happens on an ongoing basis. We have a call.
No.
Carla, good morning.
Good morning. How is everybody?
We're doing good.
Doing well.
Okay. Yeah, that is why you see, when I called the last time, right, I mentioned that persons are confused. It's not because people are being facetious or willful. People are genuinely confused with this information that is given out because it's too much. Everybody understands at varying levels. And even some people who are deemed to be educated and should think, they themselves, they are confused sometimes. Right? But what I didn't want to stay much longer the last time, so I will mention it now. Remember a few mornings ago, you all talk about, when the borders were open, and you all talk about you all got this photo of a person who came off of the airplane and was seen down the terminal, the ferry terminal, with a banner around the hand. And you all mentioned about sightings over Frigate Bay area. Well, you all had the guests to clear up all of that. And you see, well, before I go to that, I will say this. I must commend you all very, very, very highly. I don't know how some other persons take it, but at least from one quarter, it seemed like some persons were sort of upset because, some people, when they do whatever, they don't like to be criticized. Even if it is wrong, they don't like to be criticized. And even if what they said is the truth, they don't take it in a good light or good spirit. They always take it with offense. But I must commend you all highly for bringing that to the fore, because if it wasn't mentioned, then we would have never gotten the information from the, what should I say, the proprietor over this that establishment over Frigate Bay, and to explain the color bands and what they mean. So I must say kudos to you all, and I was very, very happy and proud when it was brought up. But something else, I don't know if it was addressed, but you could let me know if it was. That person that was sighted at the ferry terminal the same day, in the same dress like they came off of the flight, that was not addressed as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, I don't know if it was after, if it came in the briefing, because no one person can be in any position to hear everything that is put out there. But I would like to know, because that still is going to pose a serious problem, because it indicates to me that there is a breach in the protocol, or somebody is not doing what they're supposed to do, or something. This is only about talk. I don't know. So was it addressed? Because that's a serious case. I'll continue to listen.
Okay. Well.
Hello?
Yes. Yeah. I'll respond to that. Because I was actually the person that saw the young lady. She was actually in her late 60s, but I'll call her young lady still.
Young at heart.
I was actually the one who saw the young lady over at the Reggae Beach Pier. I'm going to Nevis. And it's only after the fact some folks that I was with at the time going to Nevis as well forwarded me the photograph of the lady walking across the tarmac that same afternoon at 2 o'clock when the flight came in. But I spoke to the authorities personally. I didn't, go on social media and thing. I called the chair for the task force. He said he would look into it. And then I spoke to the commissioner last week sometime, and he did mention that it was an error and that people coming in, quarantining in Nevis were actually supposed to be going to the Christoph Harbour Pier to be collected by an approved vessel to be taken to the Nevis quarantine area. But for some reason on that day, the lady was taken to the wrong pier.
I mean, that would have been the first day as well. Too.
That was the first day as well.
So it might have been
and I do recall when she was there on the pier and she tried to board the vessel to go from Reggae Beach. The captain did refuse to take her, and some phone calls were made, etc. And I left before she left, but I'm assuming that the appropriate, thing happened after
vessel,
that. Yeah, that they came and collected her from the pier and then took her across to Christoph Harbour to catch the right boat. So that's my understanding as to what happened. So that is that.
Someone is saying, someone sent me a message and said, it seems as though to find out what is going on in the country, one needs to listen to Leadership Matters and the briefing, but timing doesn't always work. And I think the easiest way to listen to news is sometimes the next day on another show. They said there should be a bullet press release sent out immediately after, so we can get information in different ways for those who want to manage information the same way and who can't get info. That's another point too.
2020.
Sending out bullet points.
We want a bullet point. We want a nice 5-minute video.
A brief video.
A brief video.
Or even a brief voice note.
You see, you can't win because we have people on the live saying that they don't see anything wrong with the briefings. They think they're clear and informative, and it just honestly
briefings aren't brief.
It's just not digestible for everybody.
As
some
a
of
matter
them
of
are
fact,
very, very long. And
when we went into lockdown first, right? And the PM would come over. Remember, you used to come on like at these haphazard times, like they would just make an announcement. I said the PM making an address at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah.
And he would talk for about 20 minutes, and when he finished talking, everybody would be like, "What?"
Yeah.
I took it upon myself to actually send out a Reader's Digest version of the Prime Minister's briefings during COVID-19, during lockdown, to send the people and so. Because the people who were responsible for that wasn't doing it. As a matter of fact, remember when they first instituted the zones for shopping and for going to town and doing business and so? They came out and they sent a paragraph explaining.
A paragraph?
Amali is the one who actually went on Photoshop and designed the map with the color code for the layout and so and the key and everything and sent it to them. And that's when they started sending it out. I was like, somebody got to tell you must do this?
Yeah.
Human beings are visual creatures. You can't send. A lot of people think can't read. A lot of people is, and as much as we boast that we have a literacy rate of 98%, yes. it is misleading because a lot of people think it's going to write their name.
Not only that, right? Not only that, but as we've been saying, people process the information differently. Like, giving me a paragraph with all these words. Up to now, people ain't know what SRO mean.
Right.
Like, it's like, come on, like.
And then they're using
the game.
and then they're using like directional things to like east of Square Street and north, and I was like, people ain't know what east.
People ain't even know.
Some people need to read and some people need to listen.
They literally say heading north, northerly on 4th Street, and then for the east of 4th Street up until Victoria Road is zone 2.
The animation.
Yeah.
And just
animation, but
even me have to read it like 3 times. That's the left side of 4. Okay, I got when I went on 4th Street, the north is in front of me, so like, and it shouldn't be that difficult. You was able to look at the diagram, look at the graphic, and say, okay, well, this is going on. No problem. Keep it in your phone. If somebody asks, how this thing go, you're saying to them and say, oh, okay.
That's our content for what grinds our gears tomorrow.
The information needs to be 2 things: precise and concise. Basically. Like if it ain't that, then ain't
nothing.
Yeah.
And then they want to know why the nation is confused every single time there's a press briefing.
It's time for a break. We'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Every day, your immune system is compromised. You use up vitamin C quickly and even faster with stress and colds. Burst back into life with Halib Orange. Burst back into health with 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, as much as in 12 oranges. Each effervescent tablet is bursting with fresh fruit flavor. Sparkling orange, lemon and sugar-free blackcurrant, also suitable for diabetics. Health never tasted so good. Halib Orange, bursting with flavor, bursting with health.
Big truck coming, mash up the town. Big truck coming, walk up, everybody ready? Yeah, we ready, we spanner ready. Boom, cash, big truck massive. Big truck massive, let me say yeah. Oh, yeah. Now look at this, imagine 2 them man are walking on me big truck. No one know what's the problem, why he hacking up? Over here. I check the eye level before I touch the street. Some say that my big truck carry too much weight. Some say that my big truck not gonna move again. Some say that my truck is too big, fat and wide. But I will never trade my big truck for another ride. Big truck massive. Say richest man in the day. Say walk up. Big truck massive. Come on. Say rich your hand in the day. Say walk up. Cause when we start walk on the truck, big engine turn over.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali, and it is now time to Eat Local with our friends from Sugar Mass, and we're joined by the Carnival Chair, Shannon Hawley. Welcome.
To Eat Local. This is the
Yes,
Eat
this is
Local segment?
Eat Local
okay,
section.
Okay. Well, I'm not here to speak about anything edible, right? Okay. So, thank you for having me again. It's another Wednesday. I just wanted to come today and give you guys an update as to where we are with Sugar Mass and Sugar Mass activities, etc. I know last week when I was here,
Week before.
it was week before?
Week before, yeah.
Oh, wow. At that point, we did not have permission to
what?
host a live audience in Carnival Village.
Right.
So we were waiting on that. And as of last Wednesday, we were given permission by the Commissioner of Police, which we are very grateful and thankful for, to host
Our dear friend.
events with a live audience. We had a live audience last week for the Calypso 10, the Proud Sounds Calypso 10. And it gave the Calypsonians that extra motivation in terms of performance. The Calypso 10 went down really well, really well. I mean, we had over 20,000 views online between ZIZ and the SKN Carnival's page.
That's combined.
Combined. And I mean, this is something, you have a Calypso tent normally with 75 people down at a small venue.
Right.
So now we have been increasing our views.
So, and are these views just on the night?
Yeah, this is what I got this data the day after.
So
You
they
understand?
obviously would have increased.
Of course,
within
because
24 hours.
Exactly, within
Right.
24 hours.
So
So
they would
this
have
is
obviously gone up
amazing.
again.
And it's for Calypso, It is
Calypso.
a lot of younger people don't log on, usually don't view, Calypso shows.
It's not just Calypso, The production is sexy.
The production is
It's
awesome.
good. It's nice to look at.
It is amazing. Great production. I mean, a lot of work has been going into it. Azim is the production manager. So he knows, I mean, from rehearsals,
Azim doing
etc.
a good job. That's what you're saying.
He's doing a good job. He's doing a good job. He's doing a good job. And Desi Brown as well.
Yes,
so
sir.
And the whole committee, I mean, we've really taken it up a notch, I think, this year in terms of the quality of the production, etc. for tents. And we hope now to take it up even further a notch during the National Carnival activities, the main activities. So we have the opening of Carnival, which will be, a symbolic opening of Carnival, the start of the official Sugar Mass calendar on the 11th of December. Again, that is going to be something that you've never seen before. It is not just let's see the Calypso King, let's see the National Carnival Queens, etc. Because, of course, this year is different, but it's going to be something special. So we're encouraging everyone, again, to take part, whether it's virtually, whether it's in person, because, of course, we have a limited audience of 200 people maximum in the venue, but take part in the carnival and celebration.
That's a good size crowd still.
Yeah, 200 people. I mean,
I actually didn't expect it to be that much.
yeah, we have 200 people, and it went, as I could tell you, it went on beautifully live last week.
Yes,
People were socially distancing. People were in their little corners. People were going to the bars, enjoying themselves. It went on really, really well, and we hope that that's the way it will go for the rest of the season.
Wow.
And Amali, as an event promoter. No, but as an event promoter, what we are saying as well, and based on how we've, discussions that we've had, we've seen what's going on. We now have 3 imported cases that are known of corona. We're just asking the general public to be responsible. Bottom line, this is literally, as Dr. Wilkinson said in his press brief a couple of weeks ago, last week, he said, this is our last chance, basically, to get it right before we have this vaccine.
Yeah.
And yes, it's not business as usual. Yes, the carnival season this year is not what we are accustomed to. No street activities, limited events with limited numbers. But on behalf of the National Carnival Committee, we're just asking people to be responsible and be our brother's keeper. That's all we have to be. You might get corona and you might bounce back and you might not even know you have corona, but it is the individuals with the underlying conditions, your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunt with diabetes, your obesity is an underlying condition. So we're just asking individuals to just be responsible. This is our last chance to get it right. And this year it's not business as usual. Sugar Mass 50-50, God willing, will be better, bigger, and greater.
We'll make up for last time.
Yeah,
so.
we'll make up. I mean, it's not going to kill us to do a virtual Juve or have a virtual event or have an event with 200 people or 100 people, whatever the case may be.
Right.
So we're just encouraging individuals, promoters, individuals who usually have activities during the season. We're all affected by Corona. So from vendors to promoters, street cleaners, etc., we're all affected by it. Business people.
Service providers, yeah.
Service providers. So just bear with us. This is our last chance to get it right, and hopefully the 50th anniversary will be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and what we're seeing is so much excitement already being built, even just off the Calypso tents. I was talking to somebody last night and he said, "But I don't listen, I watch Calypso. I watch the whole show." And next year I'm going to all the tents. Like, that's the kind of
I've
thing.
been getting that feedback as well.
And so I think that what's happening now, because of the buy-in from so many different parties and stakeholders, is that it's actually building anticipation for 50. And people are really excited about what's to come this year, but even more so about what next year is going to be like.
And that's the intention. That's this year's intention is all about marketing and promoting Sugar Mass to regional and international audiences for the 50th anniversary, and that's what we're doing. And I think that so far we've been accomplishing it, and hopefully, fingers crossed, for the next few weeks until the end of the year, we will achieve our goal.
Yeah, but what's the feedback been from the to the committee, from especially people overseas, not just Kititians living abroad, but I know there's people who are consuming Sugar Mass who are not Kititian from overseas.
Yeah, we've had feedback from Trinidad, the Mecca home of Calypso. We've had that feedback from Trinidad people. You see in the comments, people have been commenting from Trinidad. People have been saying, look, we want to come to St. Kitts Carnival next year. We have nationals living overseas commenting, we feel like we're home. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to feel like we're home. We can't make it home this year because we are unable to quarantine for 2 weeks. So we're giving those people that joy of the whole carnival, or a feel of the carnival celebrations here in St. Kitts, because again, this is the first time that the tents have been produced by the National Carnival Committee and have the reach in terms of viewership that they have had over the past 2 tents. So this Saturday we have another tent coming up with Legends Calypso tent featuring about 16 or 17 Calypsonians this Saturday, and then the virtual tent series ends on the 5th of December with the Proud Sounds Calypso tent. So we're looking forward to that, and then we're going from one into the other. We have teamed up with a number of private events as well. There's the SKN decorating competition, home decorating competition. There is the Festival of Lights, which seems very interesting. That is also on our calendar. There are 2 dance exercise events included on the calendar. And what we are realizing is that more and more private FET promoters are getting the approval from the Commissioner of Police to host events, smaller scale-back events. So we're looking forward to the inclusion of those on a secondary calendar that we will be releasing shortly.
Oh, nice. So like a private event calendar, something of the sorts, right?
Yes.
Nice.
But, as everywhere in the world is the young people have been the super spreaders of Corona, because no matter how hard you talk, no matter what you say, the young people just sometimes they don't listen.
And then not just that too, we have to take into account the fact that the majority of the young people that are the super spreaders are asymptomatic.
Exactly. They don't even know.
They think the allergy is acting up.
Exactly. If so much. So that is why we have to be very, very cautious. And I know Amali is one of the event promoters who hosts events every year on the carnival calendar. And Amali has been taking every precaution, and I know Amali has applied for a new different style of event for this year, just because he is taking that extra precaution as it relates to events. So we just hope people will follow, because you have great ideas as promoters, but sometimes the
patrons
patrons
don't-
do not
Yeah.
Follow through,
Follow
follow
through.
through,
You
yeah.
put
And that
all these
is-
things in place and
exactly,
the
and
patrons
that's
show
the
up and do
most
something
important.
else.
That's the most important thing.
That's
this
the
year.
toughest part for real, man.
Yeah,
Because
and-
you don't want to be look bad as an event promoter
But
as well.
and the thing is, you mentioned it earlier, Shannon. Like, we need buy-in from everyone,
From the people,
Like,
yeah.
like as a society, we need to buy in and recognize that our decisions and our actions could affect more than just us.
Yeah.
Right, and it could have far-reaching consequences.
Mhm.
So, like you said, just reaching out to the patrons. When you go to these events, adhere to the protocols. Try and make sure that we are able to keep them going, because we don't want a situation where, because of the patrons at some events not paying attention to what they need to do and thing, you make it bad for persons down the line.
Yeah.
So everybody has to buy in, from the performers, the promoters who have been innovating and coming up with creative ways to do the shows, but the patrons, just adhere. Just
But
stick to
look
it.
at
Let's have
what's
fun.
going on. We only have to look at what's going on around us in the region.
Right.
St. Lucia, the cases multiplying every day. They are
And they
not
can't- and
allowed
they can't have
any
no
events.
parties.
They can't have any parties. They
Anything.
can't control it. Antigua, no parties. So Jamaica limit, no parties. Trinidad,
Right.
no parties. So we have to be thankful for what we have, because we have, other than the period of lockdown, we really did not. We are in our bubble. We have not experienced,
Right.
thankfully, to the authorities, what the other islands are experiencing now. So we cannot, at this stage, on the verge of this vaccine becoming available, take it for granted and slip up.
Right, don't
And that's
slip
what
up
we're
now.
trying to encourage people for the season.
Right,
Don't
right.
slip up at this last stage. We've done so well, don't slip up now.
Yeah, I tell somebody the other day. Somebody asked me, like, "Wow, what do you think about the second wave happening in the other islands?" It's somebody in St. Martin, and I was like, "Well, we didn't even have a first wave."
Yeah, technically,
Yeah,
yeah,
we didn't.
basically.
And I mean, like you said, we really want to keep that the narrative, and it's only going to be done if we buy in, if everyone buys in and does their part.
Absolutely, absolutely. But again, having said that, we're looking forward to an enjoyable season. It is an opportunity for us to spend more time with our families during the season, to stay indoors. And again, as I said, it's the last chance to get it right. So
Yeah.
50-50 will be amazing.
And I think you made a really good point in terms of the whole Christmas season, because I think for many Kittians, we have never really truly celebrated a real Christmas.
Yeah.
Because we're so busy cooking Christmas lunch.
Yeah.
And that's
hurrying
all
up
we
to
do.
go Juve.
That's all we
Yeah.
do for the Christmas season.
Yeah.
We open little gifts, we cook a Christmas lunch, and then nap time for Juve.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this is now an opportunity to actually.
Nap time. Straight into
Well,
yeah.
some people, if I nap, may wake up.
I have had nightmares, I miss Juve.
I'm not napping because I won't wake up.
Yeah.
But we've been so carnival driven during this time that we never really got the chance to experience Christmas. So I
Yeah.
think this is a good chance for us to stay inside,
Yeah.
celebrate Christmas.
Take a step
But
back.
what's the theme of the carnival this year?
Final stretch.
Carnival redefined.
Exactly.
It's redefined.
It's redefined.
Redefined. And we started out well. We started out amazing with our virtual 10s. We're gonna go even better, step up with our opening, our quarterfinals, Icons event, which is gonna be a great event, and then Panorama and the finals. So we still and the virtual Juve. So we're giving each stakeholder an opportunity to take part in the events that we have listed, the virtual events that we have listed on the carnival calendar with that
Right.
limited audience.
So tell me a little bit about this virtual Juve.
I just want to ask, is it going to start at 4 a.m.?
Don't ask me that question. Because as I asked me it, I was like, no, but the virtual Juve, the intention, we really want to see what event promoters are doing during that time. Juve is a time where people congregate on the streets. So we don't want that. We don't want for anyone to automatically feel that they need to be congregating on the streets in mass on the 26th, because there will be no street activities on Juve. But for the virtual Juve, the intention would be really to give you about 4 or 5 solid hours of entertainment during the period which would be the typical Juve. Starting a little earlier, but going through the night into the morning, a virtual experience. So you log on at any time, you know what time your favorite DJ is playing, or you know what time your favorite entertainer is performing, and you have that sort of Juve experience.
I'm hoping, Shannon, that we could also kind of create an experience where people could still interact and contribute to what's happening And I feel like that's something that we could really explore and make happen, because at the end of the day, like, Juve is something where people want to feel like they're part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we could really achieve.
Well, Lala said it best in his song. He said, put your speaker on your veranda, right?
You're cooler in the corner.
You're cooler in the corner and you're enjoying carnival at home, right? He said it best. So however we can incorporate that home experience for this year, we're going to do it. We're encouraging you, put your speaker on the veranda, you're cooler in your corner, and you enjoy Juve at home. Every other island has experienced it for the year, other than Trinidad, who had the opportunity to have the carnival. But every other island has been worse off than us for the entire carnival period.
Bye.
So we are now coming in at the tail end of it. We're also coming in at the tail end in terms of in what is so beneficial is that there is a vaccine on the horizon. We cannot afford to drop our guard. And then hopefully by June next year, we have a music festival and we get back to some sort of normalcy, you know? So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, we are. So
Amali doesn't seem it.
Amali's just hurt.
Amali, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
I could give you a lot of things that you could do during that time.
For sure?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
After you, yeah. No, but you know, we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. I think everybody understands now that this is the reality of the situation,
It's
and
not
we'll
business
be okay.
as usual.
It's not business as usual.
And I think we also need to appreciate the fact that we actually at least having something.
Exactly.
Because, like you said, there's only one, and us, but I'll call it halfway, because we you know, our carnival spills over into the next year.
Yeah.
But only Trinidad truly had a carnival.
Yeah.
Everybody else has had nothing.
Yeah, they've had like maybe a few days of a virtual event.
If so much.
They have not had the opportunity to have the events that we've been having. I mean, look at we've been having so many scale back events, which is, you know, I hear people argue, you know, blah blah. The police only give me permission for 200. The police only give me permission for 100. But just, you know, we need not to be so selfish. We need to take into consideration.
They could have given us permission for
Shannon,
none.
I've spoken to promoters in some of the other islands, right? And they are shocked at the fact
outraged
that we having meetings to discuss events. Like they're like, so wait, y'all gonna talk to the police about what we could do to have events and so, like, how y'all gonna do? Like, they can't understand because of the situations in the other islands. And so I think that's a real credit to the task force and the police force.
Absolutely.
And but we have to be thankful.
Absolutely.
We have to be thankful and take advantage.
Take advantage of what we could get. Look at what is happening around us. It is a period of time for us to generally give thanks. Give thanks for life, and 2021, God willing, will be a better year. Hopefully will be a better year for us all. But we just have to focus on our health first.
Yeah. So do you have any faith in this vaccine on the horizon?
I'll be the first one in the line.
You serious?
If I, of course, but you're vaccinated for everything. We are vaccinated as children for every, you know, you have this vaccination, that vaccination. I mean, there's no difference in my opinion.
It should be even better because we have become more modernized as it
course,
relates to medicine.
I hear people talking, oh, I won't get the vaccine. Well, then that's your business.
Then
no, that's your problem. But in order for me to travel, in order for me to, you know, be comfortable and go back to some, the vaccine is important. It is important. So for those who would not want it,
I'm going to take it.
I'm going to take it first. The Prime Minister of Antigua, he came out and he said he will be...
Shannon, we can't take nothing Gaston serious.
Uncle Gaston, bye.
Uncle Gaston said he will be the first in line.
I'm an emotional.
Very.
But he's a man with a mission. He's a man with a mission. He wants Liat back in disguise, and for Liat to be back in disguise, we have to have COVID under control. So
yeah, you don't want to take the vaccine, then you don't go to the movies, you don't go to music festival, you don't go to this, you don't go to that. Stay home. You don't go to feds, you don't go to parties because it's going to be mandatory. You're gonna have to walk around with your vaccination card like the children in the back pocket. But that is what it is. That's what we foresee for the next year.
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
It is what it is. You know.
I won't take it safe.
So you'll be third in line.
Second in St. Kitts after Shannon.
I'll be right behind you.
Okay.
I want to be.
I'll be third in the Caribbean. It's Gaston and Shannon and Amali.
Yes. But gentlemen, thank you for having me.
Excuse me.
Always a pleasure.
It's not your show.
It is.
Shannon,
you know when I hear I run things.
Boss lady, bro.
They say in a tent them. It's a concrete roof over here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Shannon, thank you for no, sorry, Madam Chair.
Shannon is good.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us and disseminating this very important information.
Good. Thank you
to
for
all
having
people.
me again.
Oh, now it's on it, yeah.
Yeah. That was this is my cue now to say it.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, and have a safe and enjoyable season.
Indeed,
Don't overdo it.
Indeed. And we have 2 messages for you before we leave. Today is Hump Day?
Yeah.
Hump Day!
Hump Day.
We have 2 messages for you. One is from the Prime Minister, and it is as it relates to people who want to come to the Federation.
Oh, gosh.
And party.
14 days!
You know, backside. And Kevon. Don't forget.
You can't be everybody cup of tea because yours not a mug.
14 days.
14 days.
You got to do the hand to you.
14 days.
All right.
All right.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM. You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Paint it, tile it, improve it. Your walls, paint it. Your floors, tile it. Your home, improve it. With huge savings at the Hosford's Building Center. Paint it, tile it, improve it. Sales event happening now. Yes. Come to Hosford's Building Center now and get savings of 25% off all paint and up to 75% off all